Hey everyone, I'm back again. We're doing another talking video where I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit more about Destiny 2 and certain things that are happening in the coming seasons and things that are happening specifically in the season to come, which is season, I believe, 18? Might be 19. I'm not really sure about that, but regardless of what the theme is, I wanted to talk a little bit about Arc 3.0, kind of my wish list, and then my thoughts and kind of fears when it comes to it because I do think it's going to be extremely overpowered, especially in PvP and PvE, and also in PvE in certain ways. But we're going to get into that in a second. So, first off, again, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Arc 3.0, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like Arc 3.0 is going to be very, very based around the chaining of kills or guardians or mobs or whatever. So what I mean by that is like specifically on melees on Warlock and even Titan with Dune Marchers or something. If I melee somebody, it's going to spread and chain to other people, and you can create a ton of awesome chains with that. And even on Warlock, you can use storm grenades, which I like personally, and I don't remember. I think it's top tree, might be bottom tree, but one of those two trees allows for arc chaining, and I think the arc chaining is going to be really, really, really disgusting next season because we're going to be able to build into it a lot easier. And I also think that for PvP, Warlock might even become one of the most disgusting builds or one of the most disgusting builds or just subclasses in the game because my thought process is this, or what I thought was, we were going to be able to get with Solar 3.0, we were going to be able to get Icarus Dash and the tracking swords from top or for bottom troop Dawnblade. And we kind of did get that with certain mods and certain aspects and fragments that you could play into Solar 3.0. You could do that. So what I think is might be possible on Warlock is we're going to be able to have Landfall Super, but also the Ionic Blink. And if it gets even crazier, you could maybe even get turrets. Now I think the turrets are going to be their own separate thing, so you might be able to do Ionic Blink in the turrets or basic like Ionic or not even Ionic Blink, just landfall and the turrets like normal. I think either of those would be cool. And I think with the ability to build into chaining, which is what my initial theory is with it, it's going to be absolutely disgusting in PvE for ad control, in PvP for chaining and getting a lot of kills really quickly in Crucible with your super. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. But stepping away from Warlock for a second, because I think that like with Warlock, there's not really much to change there. I don't think a new melee is necessary. I don't think new grenades are super necessary. I don't really think there's anything too new or necessary that they could do that would uh, really open my eyes with the thing. But obviously, I think we're all gonna get something new with that because, like, when you look at Solar, they kind of got the OP grenade thing, which could happen again. But I don't. But I don't know, you know. And then like Titans obviously got the Consecration melee, which granted isn't that great, at least in my opinion. But that's neither here or there. And then Hunter's got that cool special grenade. I don't know if it's an aspect or not, where it was like two trip mines stuck together. I think that was pretty cool. So maybe we are going to get something new. And theorizing a little bit about it, if we had to go on Warlock, it could be more of it could be a different melee. It could be a different aspect in general. We really don't know. But I think that for Hunter, what I think they could do to make something very unique and very good for them is give them one of two things. One, I think bring back Blink for Hunter would be a very good option for the class because back in the day in Destiny 1, Arc did actually have Blink, and Hunters developed their own way to Blink. And I think that it would be fine to be able to give them the option to Blink, and I think it'd be cool. Uh, Now, I don't know if that's going to be an aspect or whatever you want to do, make it its own jump. I don't really care, but I just think it would be a cool idea, especially to bring that back. But if they want to keep the identity of the Warlock, they're probably not going to do it. But the other thing that I would say to add to Hunter that would be really, really cool is add a Javelin sort of super. So where instead of just running around with the arc staff, you actually throw it like a javelin, kind of like the Psionic Spear. Obviously, I want to have it track like the Psionic Spear or whatever, because the tracking on those were ridiculous. You could throw them from anywhere and guarantee a hit. So obviously, you want to tone that down a little bit for just overall balance. But I think javelins would be really really cool with Hunter. But we'll see how that plays out again. And really for Titan, I don't really think there's anything else that they can add to there, except for maybe giving them ways of chaining, obviously, um, and then better ways of to play off their shield or something. I don't really know. We don't really know what there is to come with Arc 3.0. The main thing for me is that I really want it to be chaining kills and everybody links together. I think that'd be a lot of fun for an aggressive style play in PvP. In a PvE, it'd be great for ad control as well. So I think that those would play really, really well together. But I also think that for Warlocks and Titans especially, we're going to see some of the best DPS of all time. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see some of the greatest DPS we've ever seen in Destiny history. And what I mean by that is that Chaos Reach was at one point the meta for damage, or was kind of meta for damage, because not only could it do a lot of damage out in one point with the Chaos Reach, but you could also cancel it and save energy for later. So if you know you're going to kill something, or you don't want to kill something in a certain amount of time, or you can time gate it, or base around however much damage that you plan on doing, and you could save some of that energy. And I think some of that could come back, but we're going to see higher damage numbers from Chaos Reach. And the other one for Titan being Thunder Crash. I think Thunder Crash is going to have even higher DPS than it already has, which is kind of a scary thought, because when you really look at it, Thunder Crash is one of the top DPSing things in the game. But when Solar 2.0 happened, right, it kind of got overtaken by the Blade Barrage. And even the Tether Hunter has become really, really strong and possibly overtaken it as well in certain situations. So I think now that we're going to be able to build into the Thunder Crash, I think that's going to cause some absolutely disgusting and really, 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 really high damage numbers in PvP. Or not PvP, sorry, PvE. And I think that's going to be really, really fun. But my biggest fears with it, with Arc 3.0, is definitely going to be chaining being too strong, or just certain builds being way too strong, because we already think that, at least I think so. I think that the turrets on Arc Warlock are very annoying, and I think they're very overpowered. Well, they're not very, very overpowered. They're just very annoying. And I think being able to build into stuff like that is going to be very, very scary to play against, especially in like things like trials and competitive. I think that's going to be really, really, really busted if you're actually able to build into it, which is my initial theory. So we'll see when it comes into play, but that's just my thoughts on that. And I think that Titan, if you give them the ability to chain, as in arc chaining, and you can mix that with Dune Marchers, you might even be able to get multiple kills with one melee, assuming people are right next to each other, or even with Synthoceps, right? Because Synthoceps in the bottom melee, like that, the Thunderstrike melee, that could already one shot if they're all if a ton of people are grouped together. Now imagine that with chaining, so even if there are a few stragglers that do survive, they will die to a chain because it's an arc, you're using your arc melee. So those are really my biggest fears though when it comes to it. And honestly, that kind of wraps up my thoughts on Arc 3.0. I'm very, very excited to play around with it and explore the new builds that we're going to be able to run. But I do think it's going to come out a little too hot like Solar 3.0 did. And I think that it's going to be really, really fun, but also very, very destructive. So it's going to be a lot of fun to use yet again. So I hope you all enjoyed my listening to my thoughts on Arc 3.0. I'm kind of going off scripted with these. I really, really like doing these. Just sit down and talk to you guys and trying to share my thoughts of the game and things like that. It's very, very therapeutic, and it's been a lot of fun for me to do. So I hope you all enjoy them. But thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.